Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Real Talk in Black and White with the real Team Williams.
What's happening, everybody? I'm Roosevelt Williams.
And I'm Tanya Williams.
And this is
The
Real
Real
Team
Team
Williams in Black
and White.
The TV show where you can get transparent information from a transparent couple. That's right. Our TV show is based upon questions that are brought up to us by our viewers, and they want to know what make us gel, how we click, how we make it look so easy. But we just want to let them know that a lot of times what's on the inside of the book is not what shows on the cover. You dig what I'm saying? Now, before we get started, let's go ahead and do the disclaimer. The disclaimer is, this is not for everybody. So you judgmental people, go ahead, log off, ride out. This ain't for you. This is to help somebody that's rightly trying to fit in, rightly trying to find that spiritual person that they can grow with. And what works for us may not work for you, but you got to find your knack. So we throwing out little nuggets to just open your mind and your partner's mind so that you guys can make it work, grow and build, okay? All right, today's episode is all about boundaries. Whoa, that's a serious situation. Boundaries. That is the foundation of what you will tolerate, what you will not tolerate, what you expect, what you don't expect. Okay? Now, with that, I would say, myself, that's something that you should put out
in the
first.
Beginning.
That's right, in the beginning of the relationship. So while y'all booing up on the sofa, it's good to have those conversations that are hard to have with the person that you're trying to grow with. So if I got an issue with my lady, like prime example, a lot of couples that meet, it's already a child involved on one side or the other, okay? A lot of times a man finds it hard to raise another man's child. And a lot of times a woman finds it hard to accept another woman's child. When you say that?
I mean, sometimes, but it just depends on the circumstance, I guess.
Okay.
How difficult the other person makes it, too. That makes a difference.
Yeah. Now, like I say, that's a topic right there we're gonna bring up real soon about the child or having a child already in the house when you get a chance
And how to
to meet
blend, yeah.
and how to blend it in. That's a good episode. Y'all gonna want to see that. But today we're talking about those boundaries. Okay. Prime example is when you're trying to be in a relationship and you're trying to set a brand for yourself and you're trying to come out of a situation from where you're at, you don't want to be pulled back down by the person you're trying to grow with. Now, a lot of times what we do is we compare the person we with the person we just left. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times that's a bad thing to do, because even though we may have similar characteristics, we're two different people. You have to give it a chance. So that's where the conversations come in as far as setting the boundaries of the do's and the don'ts. Okay? Prime example. Finances. Anytime or the best way to break up a relationship is sex and finances. Okay? Now, finances, if I feel like I'm going to bring my money to the table, I feel like you're going to have to bring something to the table too.
Because why?
Because 50-50 is what it's all about. It's a 50-50 love.
Because you don't like what?
I don't like no begging woman.
I don't like to beg.
Hey, she don't. So that's why we lasted so long. I don't like no begging woman. Don't feel like I'm obligated to do nothing for you, and don't feel like I'm obligated to do nothing for a child that ain't mine.
So let me put this out here too. Since we're talking about obligations and what you are not obligated to, ladies, these men are not obligated to keeping you up, getting your hair done, getting your nails done, and all that you feel like is their job to do. Okay, if you want to look a certain part, that's up to you to work and go get your money and look that part. Okay, now if he wants to take you and pay you to get your hair done or whatever, by all means, that's fine. fine, but you don't.
Preach
It's
it,
not
Pastor.
your job to go to him and expect him to pay your bill to keep
Preach
you
it,
up.
Pastor. Preach it, Pastor.
I'm just saying. I just want to put that out there because I hear so many people talking about, girl, you know he wouldn't even pay to get my hair done. Well, I didn't know that he was working to pay for you to get your hair done. And this goes for, married or single. I'm married and I want to look good for me, not just him, but I don't go out looking like no ragamuffin.
She showed
And I'm not fixing to ask him to keep up what I kept up before I met him.
I like
I'm
that.
going to continue to keep it up until the day I die, but it's not
like
his
that.
responsibility for my nails to look good. It's not his responsibility to make sure my hair is colored and cut. That's mine because that's an upkeep and a bill that I have created and I want to maintain. That's not his responsibility.
Now, to jump and piggyback off of that right there, fellas, if this woman, she goes out of her way to look as beautiful and gorgeous as she do, it's your job to keep it in the middle and keep it dapper and debonair.
Right.
Okay? Don't nobody want no fat, slouchy dudes laying on the sofa. Now, big guys, y'all can clean up too, baby. I'm a heavy sick
Yeah.
cutie, baby. You understand me? They got big clothes that make it do what it do, man. Get clean and dapper and put the cologne on. Make her want to just bite y'all on your face. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm going to tell you something else, ladies. When you doll up like that, that makes a man want to step his game up because he gonna like that. You take his value to another level. You dig what I'm talking about? So the boundaries are being set that, first of all, you represent me. Okay? So first, anytime you go out the house,
You're representing that other person.
you can't look like you can't go out the house looking crazy.
Well, and that's just like, it's the same thing. Not only just looks, but when you go out and you're in the street or you're talking to somebody or whatever, you're still representing them whether they're around or not.
Right.
So do as you would do in front of them when they're not around.
That's good. Check this out. Loyalty. We talked about that one time before. So loyalty is one of the best boundaries because guess what? Sometimes a picture's worth 1,000 words. Trust me on that. So if I was to go out and every time my wife turn around, she see me hollering at one of my exes and I'm buying her drinks and every time she look the same exes in the same picture with me, what you think that's going to... Yeah, that's a bad picture, So you got to nip that in the bud, man. You can't do that right there. You're going to have to pull back and say, hey, man...
Those are boundaries.
Boundaries are set basically as would I approve my lady doing that? And if I don't, then why would I do that? You
Because
see
that's
what
a
I'm
double
saying?
standard, right?
Straight double standard, straight
Yeah.
across the board.
And-
So, go ahead.
And there's some things, if you with social media and stuff like that today, if you are still in contact with certain people and you feel like that is going to be a temptation or you're going to have to inbox, DM or whatever on the side and they don't know, well then you might need to block that person.
Let that ride, man.
Because it's going to come up to bite you later on. Sooner or later, it's going to come up to bite you.
And I promise you don't want to lose a good thing messing around with something that you got rid of a long time ago. Because a lot of times once you start, getting off into that food shaking, you'll find out that they are there for hidden motives anyway. You dig what I'm saying? So I had a couple of friends of mine. They were in relationships and they never set boundaries. They always went off of what she should already know. That's self-explanatory. She know better. She know not to do that. First and foremost, never, ever, ever expect your significant other to understand something that y'all ain't never even talked about.
And then you don't know what type of relationships that other person has been in and
True.
what kind of person they have dealt with. So the previous person may not have had boundaries at all. They just might have been, hey, do what you do, and whatever.
True.
And so you can't expect them to come in and follow suit and you get offended, but then not explain to them what they're doing wrong and they don't know that they're doing anything wrong.
True. So you have to communicate, and like I say, when y'all sitting down on the sofa and y'all just watching TV, Netflix, and chill, strike them hard to talk conversations up. Prime example. Okay, when me and my wife we got together. Okay, I had 2 daughters already. Okay, she had a son. Okay, her father, her son's father was in his life, and I was in my daughter's life. Okay. And situations came about to whereas when I had to handle business with my daughters, myself, I would take it upon myself and leave her completely out of the equation because I felt like, hey, in my mind, this is a situation that I caused. I'm gonna handle that and I'm gonna deal with that, okay? But not knowing that it was hurting her because I was leaving her out. I was going over to an ex house. Even though I'm going to see my daughter, you still have that insecurity to whereas, well, what they doing over there? You know what I'm saying? They was once in love, so what they doing over there? You feel me?
Yeah, and it's different because, you know, if you just open up communication, you know, you can cut out all that worrying and what if and what's going on and all that.
Right.
So it's just like, hey, this is really what it is, you know. And when you're in the dark, of course you're going to ask those questions because you don't know.
Right.
And then, like I said, the previous relationship, you don't know what that person went through or what that relationship was like. So if it was a lot of cheating and things like that going on, you're automatically going to assume in this, you know, the same thing. And
Right.
then you think, well, why do I not know? Or why won't they answer their phone? Or when they go over there, why is it this way or that way?
Right.
So that causes a lot of issues too if you don't open up and you're not setting the boundary and saying, okay, when I go over here, you know, this is why, you know, I turn my phone off. Or, you know, this is why I have to go over there. Maybe it's a situation where, you know, the father is not able to take the child off. But if you don't have those conversations, then they don't know.
True that. And then on the flip side, ladies, if you have a baby daddy, and if he decides that the only time he want to come see the baby is when your old man ain't at the house,
Red flag.
that ain't okay.
Red flag.
That ain't okay. You know, if he want to call and every time he call, y'all fussing and arguing on the phone, you know, ladies, if you don't handle that, then that puts a strain on your man because if your man does not desire to see you hurt and in pain and cry and all that, he can't let no other man do that. So if you don't want him to step in and take things far to the left, you either handle that or you tell that man, hey, handle that with, you know, tell your baby daddy, you got to handle that with the man of the house and let them get a clear understanding. That's how you do that. You see what I'm saying? Because it's nothing you could say to a man if he come home in the wee hours of the night and your baby dad over there kicking the bobo. No.
And
That
let's
ain't gonna
just
work.
say, I know this is a fantasy world, but it can happen.
Yeah.
But in most relationships, it's idea if everybody can just get along. You know, like I said, that's a fantasy world that we're living in now. But we've done pretty well for the most part. You know, you can make it work when everybody wants to be an adult. You know, I'm not saying it's perfect or whatever, but if you can make it work and everybody can get along, then it makes it better and easier for the kids because the kids don't feel like they're stuck in the middle and, oh, I got to choose this person over that person.
Yeah, that's where a good set of boundaries come in because, like I said, the kids won't even have to choose because the boundaries are set straight. Everybody will be on one accord. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Another set of boundaries, and I get this a lot. Man, you ask your wife what to do, you know, before you buy something this right here. Let me tell y'all right now, I ain't gotta ask my wife nothing.
I think it's out of respect.
No, hold up now. Hold up. I gotta get this off my chest. I ain't gotta ask my wife nothing when
Who
I
you
spend
trying to
this
prove
bread,
something
homie.
to?
My partners out there that's watching. I know y'all out there watching. And I won't let the whole world know. Big Ro ain't gotta, Roosevelt Williams, Montreal, whatever you want to call me. I ain't gotta ask my wife nothing about what I buy. I buy what I want to buy. But out of respect to my house,
Is that not what I just said?
anytime it's a big
purchase.
ticket purchase,
You know, $100, $200, we ain't tripping over something like that. But if it's $1,000 up, you know what I'm saying?
20,000,
Then we will say, hey, I'm thinking about
60,000.
this or whatever. Most of the time, it ain't really even a big deal then. However, if you don't want no issue, because it will create an issue. If you come pulling up in a brand new car and didn't even call and tell them that you're getting a car, that's going to be an issue. Because, like, then they're going to feel like, well, you didn't even ask to see or tell me about it, you've been out riding around showing everybody else your car, but I'm the last one to know.
Or you done went and bought this piece of junk. I don't know why you buy that junk. If you would ask me, I would have told you not to buy that
That's
junk.
right.
You know what I'm talking about? So that right there is something that you have to talk to your significant other, because a lot of times, a lot of people, they impulse buy, spur of the moment. They just get caught up. And a lot of times your significant other can say, ho, baby, I really want to see you in that Bentley that I'm going to get.
And that Rover, okay. I'm glad you
Rover's
do.
a piece of junk. I keep telling you that. If somebody text this woman, tell that Range Rover, it's a piece of junk. But that Bentley, we get that Bentley,
Well,
baby.
give me a Tesla. I'll take you.
Yeah, you get the Tesla. I see you
want
on
me
the
a
Tesla.
big truck with some big tires.
No, we want something big. We don't
I
get me the
sure
Tesla.
do, so I can pull that horse trailer. Now, worry about yourself.
Boundaries. Anyway. Now, when she can give you some information, and he can pull you back and say, baby, listen, I really like you in that. You look good, and I want you to have that. But right now is not a good time. We just spent money on this. Mm-hmm. We got this. The child in college. We got this coming down the pipeline. And the bank account already stretched because all this other stuff we've opened. Do you think it'll be wise to put a $70,000 or $100,000 ticket on top of what we got right now?
And most of the time,
limit?
if you just had that conversation, the outcome is going to be better, because
right.
that person's going to sit back and say, even though they don't want to hear no, you know what I'm saying? They're going to say, well, that does make sense. Well, that's right.
True.
Or, oh, I forgot about, we do have this going on, or whatever.
True.
But that kind of helps reel them back in. And, you know, sometimes you just have to, just conversation and communication is going to be everything.
Real talk. Like I say, when you sit down, we were talking about loyalty. You know, loyalty is something that I feel and I take to the heart, because number one, I don't want to see my baby hurt, and I'm gonna do everything in my power not to see her hurt. Loyalty is 100, and I strive on respect and loyalty. So when I get ready to do something, like we already said, if it feels like it'll hurt me, then I'm not gonna do it to hurt. You feel what I'm saying? So with the boundary that I set, let's get on this friend tip.
What are you looking at me for? I ain't got no friends.
Boundaries, y'all. When I say boundaries, you got your honey and you. Boundary. Hey, boss, we don't need no gates right here at Camp 8, boss. Tell them about the gun line, boss.
You gonna eat your cornbread?
I'm gonna eat my cornbread. Don't give me your cornbread. See what I'm talking about? Boundaries. Check this out. Outside information. Please boundary that up. Okay? A lot of times you take your stuff outside of your house, out of bounds, and you tell people stuff, and they feed off of that. A lot of folks will give you the wrong information and give you information that they won't do. I can't tell you how many times I've seen a person tell somebody, girl, I wouldn't put up with that mess, and he can go on by his business. I wouldn't dare do that. And her old man had cheated 5 times, and she right back booed up. He done left the house, and when she called, he come right on back over there, and you better not say nothing to her. But she done told you and your relationship up. You see what I'm talking about? Set them boundaries to say, hey, baby, whatever goes on in here, stay in here. Ain't nothing going out of bounds. This our boundaries. You see what I'm saying?
Because you should never hear about your relationship or what's going on that you should be speaking to your spouse about from somebody else. Should nobody else be calling you, talking about, or calling them saying, well, I was calling to talk about this situation. Well, why are they not talking to me about it? This is a family situation that we should be discussing. Why are they out talking to somebody else about it?
I remember one time, and I'm gonna share this story because it's near dear to my heart. I remember one time, you know, everybody know I love jewelry and mink coats and all that. You know what I'm talking about? And folks was like, man, yo, you flossing. Your husband flossing. And so my wife said, she said, well, baby, you might need to tone down. You know, some folk might think you boasting and bragging. And I looked at my wife with a clear smile on my face. I said, girl, you got more diamonds on than me, so why I got to tone down while you shine? You see what I'm saying? With that right there, just one little piece of thought, you would have set the boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm talking about? Setting them boundaries, y'all. You got to set them boundaries. Listen. When you in a relationship and you trying to make that thing work, it's the do's and the don'ts and the wills and the won'ts. You know what I'm talking about? You feel me, baby?
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
I feel you.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you set them boundaries, like you say, outside people, that go for your mamas and your daddies too.
Especially those messy cousins, because guess what? Misery loves company. And a lot of times they'll give you information or advice because they want to mess up your thing so they can run behind you and get what you had.
Get all in your sugar bowl, fella.
Mm-hmm.
That's the oldest game in the book, man. The old school players used to always tell the fellas, man, who that girl right there, she look fast, she hot, but you don't need that right there, boy. And that young dude said, yeah, she is, like she is. Yeah, you don't need that, boy. And then the next week, he ride in the Cadillac, went on the passenger side, and he say, well, old school, man, what you doing with her? I said, you ain't needed it. That's my breed. That's what I like. Undercut you to the coat. You understand me? That's the oldest game in the book. You understand? Set your boundaries, man. Set your boundaries. Set your boundaries in life. Set your boundaries in your relationship. And I promise you, it'll last long. For a long, long time, y'all. Listen, it's like the weakest link in the chain. You know what I mean? The boundaries that you set are only as strong as that link. If people keep pulling and tugging, sooner or later that weak link gonna break. Mm-hmm. But the both of you guys have to work hard to tighten that link up. You know what I'm talking about? Pull it together. Get everybody out your business. Set the boundaries to whereas when it's time to go out, you would think about your significant other mostly or really all the time before you think about yourself. Mm-hmm. Real talk. And with that being in mind, you'll never ever kind of slide away and do something crazy because you already know if I won't tolerate it, I know she won't tolerate it.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So to set them boundaries in the relationship to whereas when you growing and you stay, you got that tunnel vision and you going, make it hard for all them distractions to get in because the boundaries is just like a gate. It's gonna keep all that riff-raff out. You dig what I'm talking about? Yeah. Cause see, check this out, fellas. Remember one thing. A lot of times you look back over your life and your relationship, you'll realize didn't nobody try to holler at you until you got with her. Them. You know what I'm talking about? So don't fall for the okey doke and don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. You know what I'm saying? Set them boundaries so you can keep the riff-raff out. Because the only time they come to see what you talk about, or the only time they come to be a distraction or to tear something down is when they see something good working. You dig what I'm saying? So don't let them come in, man. Let them do your thing. And, hey, keep that thing moving and motivated. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, set them boundaries, baby. Set them boundaries. You got to. That's with the kids. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about this. It's another set of boundaries that I feel like is very important for y'all to talk about at the very beginning. If you got a child, or if I got a child, discipline each other kids, set them boundaries from the beginning.
Most definitely.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you got a child, especially a young man, and I can't rep that young man to be a young man the way I know how, I can't be with you. Because I'd be doggone if I take care of somebody that's going to be raised up a whole nother way and a whole nother level than I know he can do. I want the best out of him. You see what I'm saying?
And vice versa. So, you can't allow other outside children to come visit or be in your home and disrespect you at the same time, or allow them to have their own set of rules when they come inside your house. They got to follow suit just like everybody else. And if they can't follow suit, or I can't reprimand them while they're in my presence, or their parents don't like that they're in my presence, well, guess what? They might not need to come over. Because same thing, as you we're a team. So if you're going to be together and you're going to blend it, then it has to go both ways.
And you got to pay attention, because a lot of times women, they tend to, if it's not, you have to be the man, because if it's not their child, sometimes you have to pay attention, because sometimes it kind of weigh heavy, and you have to step in and say something, especially, hey, being a man. Sometimes that man be hard on that child, or especially that boy, sometimes the girl. And as a mother, you got to step in. But you do that not in front of the child, but you do that towards each other.
But also, mothers, you've got to learn to step back, which is hard for us as mothers because we are naturally nurturers. So it's hard to see them disciplined by somebody else, and that's a big thing for women. So that might be an episode we need to have too.
Yeah.
Is because it's hard for women to allow men to have children, outside children, underneath their roof, and won't allow that man or that woman to reprimand them, or and that causes big issues between the two of you. So you have to learn how to, one, if he's going to be the head of your household, that doesn't mean he's just the head of you and you submit to him. That means the head of the household, everybody under that roof, whether they're full-time children, part-time children, every other weekend, summer, whatever. He's the head of the household, so you've got to learn to pull back. Now, it's sometimes, we come talk, like he said, hey, you're a little too rough on her, or you're too little rough on him, da-da-da-da, or whatever, depending the situation is. But again, that's those boundaries. You do it. You do a sidebar. You don't do it in front of them, because that gives the child the upper hand, saying, well, I know if I do this or that, then, mama sway this way, or daddy will do this, and that draws a wedge in between you guys.
A true wedge. That's why a lot of times when you set those boundaries with the kids, a lot of times sit down with the kids and both parents and everybody involved and set those boundaries right then and there. Each one of y'all are equal. This how it's gonna be, and ain't no other way around it. We set the rules. This how it's gonna be, and if you don't like it, then if you're living with us, I don't know what to tell you. If you're not living with us and you got visitation rights, then you're gonna have to visit us until the court say you ain't gotta come no more. You dig what I'm saying? But now if you causing some food shaking there and you subject to like you say, draw that wedge or bring some craziness about, you never stop fighting for your kids, family. But what I'm saying, you kind of let them grow into what they know, because a lot of times with those two sets of rules and two households, it get to be a lot for them, and it can actually put their mind state on some real food shaking. You dig what I'm talking about? Because you never know what the other side's saying
or what they're
to
doing.
Them, saying to basically make them act out towards you in that way. You know what I'm talking about? It's a good joke I used to hear a comedian say, and I forgot what the comedian was, but the joke went like this right here. Dude had a baby mama, and she found another man, and the little boy was calling the dad and said, "Daddy, you over here talking crazy to me, Daddy." And Daddy, "Boy, Daddy's your dad. You ain't got to listen to him." And so the little boy said, "All right." He went home, and the little dad said, "Hey, man, do that." He said, my dad said, "I ain't got to listen to you." And he said, "Okay, I'll tell you what." So he whipped him across his butt. He called his dad. He cried, "Daddy, what's wrong with you, boy?" He said, "Man, hey, Dad, that dude that whooped me, he beat me down." So the dad said, "Hey, you tell that sucker I'm on my way over there right now." So he got over there, man, he went knocking on the door. So old boy came out around the bushes and put a whooping on the dad, real bad. So the dad took off and got in the car and pulled off. So the little boy was looking out the window. So all of a sudden, the dad had got the little boy one more time. And the little boy called the dad, and the dad said, "Hey, boy, hey, you better listen to what that man tell you, all right? That's a good man right now." Prime example, if you don't want no problem, then don't you cook the food. You better get a clear understanding, because it might not go the way you want to. Set them boundaries, y'all, in your life. Set them up so that y'all can get along with each other. Y'all know what'll make each other happy. You'll know what make each other hurt. you know, man, will make each other grow. You know what I'm talking about? And that'll help with the conversation, because a lot of times when that conversation dry up and it go far to the left, and you let it get gone too far, sometimes everybody get outside the house and the house get towed out. You know what I'm talking about? So that's basically it. Set them boundaries. You set them boundaries from the beginning, and you tell them, hey, this is what I don't like. I notice you and your baby daddy be on Facebook and y'all just be chalking it up, and he gotta address everything that you say. Well, I'm not at ease with that. You know what I'm saying? And if they say, well, me and my baby daddy gonna always be cool, and that's just something you're gonna have to deal with. If they feel like that deep in their heart, then at that point you tell them, well, I gotta step on, because I can't get with that right there. I'm not cool with that. Saying it's vice versa.
And it's okay for y'all to have a co-parenting relationship. It's actually better if you can get along. But that's the boundary that you got to have. Y'all are no longer together. So the little inside jokes and the things like that you used to share, you can't share those no more, because that's overstepping the boundary.
And fellas, one more nugget before I get out this thing. You guys have got to start taking responsibilities in a relationship when it comes to setting boundaries, okay? Men are so weak, man. We weak-hearted. When a woman first gets your heart, you can hate her to death. But if that woman call you, man, you get weak as water. You know what I'm talking about? So, prime example, women love to use them kids to get in the house and try to control, not the house, but to control that man. Especially when he on court papers. You know what I'm saying? So, fellas, stand up on your own, too. Be a man. Let that woman know, hey, man, it ain't even finna work like that right there. And if you got to do that, then guess what? You take the child right on over there with you, but I'm going to be man enough to sit and hold my position. But when my child get older and my child come and talk to me and ask me what's happening, I'm going to tell my child what's happening, and we are going to have a relationship. So you can either have a good relationship all the way through, or come on the flip side and have that child resent you for keeping.
I think that's a good
away.
episode. We should have that as well, because there's I see that a lot where and it's primarily women just being honest. It's women who, out of spite, because they can't be with the man, will keep the child from the man to hurt him, or they don't like who he's with or whatever. And you're only hurting that kid, because eventually he's going to go on. He don't care about you anyway. So you're only hurting the kid by not allowing the kid to go around them. And like you said, later on in life, you don't ever have to say a bad word about their father or their mother, because as the child gets older, they'll be able to see for themselves.
So we're gonna, that, like she said, that'll be a good episode. So if y'all want us to have that episode, like say that everything we talk about, we done already been through it, man, and we had some serious chapters about it. Like say, hey, we'll go deep off in it, but y'all gonna have to ask. We ain't gonna get too deep off in it, because it ain't none of your business, half of the stuff, all right? But we will share some nuggets with you to help you, go through your situation that you're going through. So like I said, we finna get ready to close this episode. Our time is about to run out, as you may see. So just know one thing: set your boundaries, and my.
And don't back down.
Don't back down. You safeguard each other hard, man, and just know, without a shadow of a doubt, this is my rock, and I'm going to stand on her. You know what I'm talking about? And it's vice versa. You dig? So set them boundaries. You'll have a strong, healthy relationship, and you'll know what to do and what not to do. You know what I'm saying? That's respectable, number one. And it'll spread that love, make that love even stronger. You know what I'm talking about? I know you can. I know you can. Like I said, I'm Roosevelt Williams.
And I'm Tanya Williams.
And this has been The Real Team Williams in black
and white.
We'll see y'all next week, same time, same station, all right? All right. Make sure you like it, share it, tell everybody about it. Get them numbers up, y'all.